Hi, my name is Carly White, and I will be presenting on literacy remediation. During my presentation, I will discuss the 5 components of reading and their influence on writing, the importance of assessments and progress monitoring, and ways reading and literacy specialists can support students and teachers. I will begin by discussing the 5 components of reading, which are essential for each student to understand and know to become successful readers and writers. The first component of reading is phonemic awareness. According to Botari, phonemic awareness is the understanding that spoken words are made of individual sounds called phonemes. When students develop phonemic awareness skills, they can identify rhyming words, count syllables in words, and blend and segment sounds in words orally. Students need to be able to understand that sounds in spoken words represent a letter. By developing this knowledge, students can begin spelling words in their writing. It also helps them to understand where spacing should be added in their writing and creating a complete sentence. An instructional strategy that can be used for teaching phonemic awareness is reading whole group texts that involve rhyming. Students will have fun being able to identify the rhyming words in the books, which can also make it engaging. The second component of reading is phonics. Phonics involves teaching children how to identify spoken sounds as letters in the English language. When students develop phonics skills, they can sound out unfamiliar words in text based on their letter sounds and ultimately develop reading fluency. Phonics also supports students' writing skills by helping them to encode words they may not know how to spell. An instructional strategy that can be used for teaching phonics is having students spell words using magnetic letters. This can be an activity for students to do independently or in reading small groups. Students are either looking at a picture or listening to the beginning, middle, and ending sound in a word to spell. They are identifying the letter that makes that specific sound. The third component of reading is vocabulary development. This refers to the meaning of words in the English language. Vocabulary development is a concern for many English language learners because they do not know the meaning of many things in the English language. These students require various instructional strategies and approaches to support their learning in this component. Vocabulary development is also essential for writing because students need to know the meaning of words to be able to use them in their writing appropriately. When adding details such as adjectives and adverbs to their writing, it is important they know the meaning so that they can use them successfully. An instructional strategy for vocabulary development would be to front-load vocabulary before beginning a new text or writing prompt. Students can understand the meaning of the words and how they are used in the text or writing prompt. English language learners learn best when they are introduced to vocabulary words using pictures. This helps them to visualize the word instead of attempting to create a picture inside their mind. The fourth component of reading is fluency. According to Andunes, fluency is the ability to read words accurately and quickly. When students have developed the first 3 components of reading, fluency usually develops as well. Students can identify known words and decode words that are unfamiliar to read sentences quickly and accurately. A fluent reader often becomes a fluent writer as well. They can read words and sentences fluently and develop the knowledge on how to use word patterns and vocabulary to create complete sentences that make sense. An instructional strategy for fluency would be reading sprints. This can be a fun activity for students to participate in during independent time or whole group. Students choose a text at their instructional level and a teacher puts a timer on the board. The students are to keep reading their book until the timer is finished. Students can count the number of pages they read and try their best to beat their score next time. It also gives them practice becoming fluent readers. Students also benefit from independent reading time, which can occur in a rotation during literacy centers. The fifth and final component of reading is comprehension. Students can develop phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, and fluency in their reading, but still not be able to comprehend or know what they read. According to Lenz, reading comprehension is the process of constructing meaning from a text. Some students struggle with understanding the meaning of text and need support in activating background knowledge and annotating a text to determine the meaning. Comprehension is also important for students to develop when working on a writing task. By being able to comprehend text at their instructional level, students can also comprehend writing prompts and their own writing. A student's reading skills is usually parallel to a student's writing skills. They can create writing that the reader can understand. A simple instructional strategy I like to use for students to develop comprehension is using sticky notes or graphic organizers to retell events to develop a summary. By using sticky notes and graphic organizers, students can identify key events or details in the text as they are reading. After reading, they can put these details or events together to understand what took place in the text. There are many instructional strategies to use during writing. However, I often use free writing as an activity to engage students in the writing process. The reason free writing is a successful instructional strategy is because students can choose their topic and engage in the writing process of their interest. I also give my students graphic organizers, sentence starters, and word banks to support their writing. Assessments and progress monitoring are an integral part of depicting a student's literacy skills and development. This is not only important for the students but also for the teachers as well. It helps teachers determine whether instruction should be retaught or if certain strategies are helpful to the students. By using assessments and progress monitoring, educators can determine students' progress on the 5 components of reading and in writing, as well as make decisions about reteaching. There are also instructional strategies that can be used in the classroom to assist in assessing and monitoring the progress of students. One strategy is using exit tickets after a lesson to determine whether a student met the objective of the day. Exit tickets should be a quick way for students to demonstrate their knowledge. Running records are another way for teachers to track students' progress on the 5 reading components. Teachers can also determine the instructional reading level of the students and the strengths and needs of that particular student. There are many online resources for educators and students to utilize. These resources can support struggling readers in becoming successful in the 5 components of reading as well as in writing. One resource that stands out to me as being successful is Read, Write, Think. Read, Write, Think is an online resource that supports students' reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. Students can engage in reading tasks as well as read text at their instructional level. As I wrap up this presentation, I would like to include additional ways for the reading or literacy specialist to support teachers and students within the school building. Reading or literacy specialists can support teachers by assisting in analyzing and interpreting student data, recommending instructional strategies, and providing support to meet student needs. Reading and literacy specialists can also support students by administering assessments and providing small group interventions when needed. Overall, teachers and reading and literacy specialists need to work together to support the needs of all students in the 5 components of reading and also in writing.